Hi guys, welcome back. I have an interesting topic that I was thinking about today, and it came through a friend of mine that was kind of needing some help in whether or not or some opinion in whether or not he should go into getting a vintage car and diving into it. He drives a modern car, and he asked me, he asked the question of, am I tough to be able to own a vintage vehicle, a Land Rover, uh, a Dodge, Ford, anything that's basically analog, right? We think that we're so accustomed to electronic fuel injection and all those things, and sometimes people tend to be afraid of these cars. One, because there's a notion that they're unreliable, they break down, and you know, they don't have the modern amenities they go along with the modern cars nowadays. But I'm here to tell you that I think anybody that has the will and the drive to own one of these can do it. You don't have to be afraid of these. I think they're great to teach our kids, our next generation, about analog cars, about analog engines. Like, can't get any simpler than this. You know, yes, I do have some spare keys here for the battery sometimes. I like to disconnect them when I'm not driving them long, but I mean, all you need is spark, fuel, and air, and some electricity to get these things running. So there's a sense of community too when you own these, and you start to like go into the forums, the Instagrams, and the local clubs. You start to make friends, you start to make acquaintances, you start to create bonds, and you learn a lot through that community. So no, I don't think you should be afraid. And yes, I think everybody's tough enough to handle these cars. I mean, back in the day, that's all we did. We drove these cars, and anything vintage, that's all we had. Yes, there's a little bit of paranoia about repairs, which I'll get into in another video. There is a paranoia of not being able to find parts, which again, that's another video that I'm going to get into. But I think these cars are great. They're great to tinker with your kids. You don't need ECUs, or you don't have ECUs, so therefore you don't need computers to diagnose them. You either get fuel or you don't. You either get a spark or you don't. And just tracking it is simple. The systems are simple. Yeah, carry the essentials. Carry spark plugs. Carry distributors. Carry points. Maybe carry an extra coil, an extra carburetor, maybe an alternator. If you really want to carry a starter, you can always push start these. Obviously you're gonna want to carry your fuses and stuff like that. But I think everyone's tough enough to be able to own these, and if you're not at the beginning, if you don't feel too comfortable to just have these as your sole. I drive that one as a daily right now. This one, I used to be my daily, but I'm doing some stuff to it. So I don't like this radiator. I got to replace this. There's a leak in it, and then I'm gonna be changing to 4 hubs so I can tow it with my RV. But anyway, those are other projects, but I don't want to get away from it. But I think, yeah, we are tough enough to own these. I think these trucks are fun. They're great to go out and have a cars and coffee. They're simple. Here, let me put the phone down so I can get these see, I prepare myself with extra spark plugs. You know, I have 3 right here, but I have another one in the back. I'll carry some spare spark plugs. You know, put your filters. I have the same carburetor. I've been changing all my trucks to Rochesters. This one is a Rochester as well. You know, so once if you have parts for this one, you'll have parts for this one. So yeah, there's a great meme that goes around. There's around there that has the a Land Rover meme where if you have one Land Rover, you need another one for parts. Then if you have 2 of them, you need another one for parts as well. You know, and then eventually you figure it out like, well, I have enough parts now, but I think this one can be my camper. This one can be my daily. And then you get another one, and maybe that other one can be for hauling stuff. You know, so they all have their, you know, once you get one Land Rover, you always want to get another one. Then that's a domino effect that I think a lot of people have with these beautiful trucks. And yeah, don't get too caught up on like restoring them and having them all pristine. Enjoy their patina, enjoy the way they are. You know, make sure that you don't get caught up in that fever of wanting to have them restored, and you know, count each rivet, make sure you have the right amount of rivets. You know, I've been driving this one around for almost since I got it, because I want to repair these little holes here, and I haven't gotten around to doing it. So I've been driving it like this for a few years, but it's been fun nonetheless. But you know what, I don't care about this. I don't care about all these rivets, you know. I mean, I kind of did care here. I had an extra rivet, so put it in there. But yeah, like, don't worry about it. Like, you can always find parts. I gotta get this repaired or replaced, I should say. You know, don't worry so much about the patina. Enjoy them, have fun. Just keep them running. Don't stop driving them. The minute you stop driving them, they hate it and they become problematic. So whatever you do, keep driving them, keep them on the road. And then I'll show you guys another video. I'll do another video where it shows how I acquired parts throughout the years and how to keep them running. You know, don't be afraid to be a little bit of a hoarder on parts, because that's what keeps them running. So anyways, I hope you got something out of this one. But yeah, I think everybody's tough enough to own these. I think everybody should have these. And if you have kids, these are a great platform to teach them how to diagnose engines and keep them running. Again, you don't need fancy computers to keep them running. You just need to diagnose them, a little bit of screwdriver, a hammer, some baling wire, and a lot of patience sometimes. But you know, they're fun. They're fun truck. By the way, this one here is a rare early. This is a two-way, a two, not a two-way, a two. But through the community, I found this guy in Alaska that had this rare Swan manifold. This is the original manifold that came with the truck. But this one was cracked when I got the truck. And I really wanted to keep it original. I really love how it comes through and behind the tire. Mostly all of the Land Rovers, they drop down and under. But this one comes down and it goes on the side. So I ended up through the community, through the forums, I found this guy that had this Swan manifold. Had it shipped from Alaska, and it's great, you know. It even has the I don't know if you can see it there. Let me see if I can turn it out. It's a little bit warm. There it is. You can hear it, and you can see that the little mechanism. You know, just put some oil on that, keep it clean, and it's a little damper that allows heat to go up into the intake manifold, and when it gets warm, it expands and it blocks that heat and lets it out through the exhaust. It's little things like that sometimes through the community you'll find. Again, I kept my original one. I am a hoarder. I kept the original one. I'm gonna have a friend of mine weld it, and I'll keep it as a spare. But yeah, anyways, I hope you got something out of that. Don't be afraid of them. Through the community you can find parts, knowledge, and help. And again, they're very fun to own. They're great conversation starters, and above all, great for our next generation to continue to learn and know how these things run, you know. Anyhow, I hear some music in the background. I gotta turn this off before I get hit with anything from YouTube for copyright. Thanks again. See you soon.